Hey guys, it is Saturday morning. I just crawled myself out of bed and I just wanted to have a quick talk. So yesterday I started Home for Susannah by my friend Carol Harrison. I'm about 50 pages in and it is a really cute story so far about a older woman whose mother just died. She's inherited the house, and while she's digging in the attic to figure out how to make her new house her home, she finds a little box with a couple of journals, and these journals hold a story. And that story is, from what I gather, a love story about her great-great-grandparents. So I'm going to keep reading today. I am going to start off with getting myself some coffee, because as my shirt says, life begins after coffee. Yes. Probably my favorite sound. Cheers. That moment when you take a break from reading to play some Animal Crossing. Yes, very important. Alright guys, so I am now about halfway through A Home for Susannah by Carol Harrison. And I guess my halfway thoughts are that I'm really enjoying the writing style. So the story is written by a mixture of journal entries from the past, from over 100 years ago, from our main character Barb's great-great-grandmother and great-great-grandfather. So it's a mixture of Barb's perspective and her great-great-grandma's perspective through the journal entries, as well as her great-great-grandpa's perspective through his journal entries. But that's not all. We also get little glimpses into Susannah's life through Barb's dreams. Barb is completely engrossed in these articles and in discovering her family history. And as she's reading these journals, she starts to imagine for herself what it must have been like for Susannah. And so then we get kind of a more in-depth picture as to what happened in Susannah's time. And we're following Barb, who, as I said before, is grieving the loss of her mother and trying to make this house that she was left a home. And that's where she finds these journals. She kind of becomes obsessed with finishing them, and her family starts to notice her fascination. It takes her away from her regular patterns, it takes her away from her chores, and she loses track of time. She is so enthralled with this story. And it is a very interesting story. So we're in the 1880s and early 1890s. And so it's clearly a different time. It's pioneer times. Susannah's biggest concern, other than getting married in the first place, is that her and her new husband are now traveling to unknown parts. And sort of her biggest fear right now is having to live in a sod house. So I can only imagine. Can you imagine? You go from relative comfort, from the homestead that your parents have set up for you, from their own immigration from Germany to Minnesota. So you've got a comfortable place, and then you leave that behind for a sod house in the middle of the prairies. Unbelievable. So that's where we're at so far, halfway through. Again, I love the writing style. The perspective changes are varied, but they're easy to follow. And I find that they build the overall story. They add a texture and a richness to the characters as they develop. So Barb right now is still dealing with her grief, but she's quite distracted from it by following Susannah's story. And Susannah is completely distracted in her life with her marriage to her new husband and this harrowing journey into a new place, a new country, a new land. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna keep on reading and we'll see what happens next. Hey guys, so I decided to join my rabbits on the floor for a little while. They really like it when you get down on their level, so I decided I'm gonna snuggle up to them while I read for the next little while. Don't eat my book! Alright, book nerds, I just finished A Home for Susannah by Carol Harrison, and holy crap, what a good book. It had me tearing up by the end, I tell you. Definitely a 5-star read. If you're interested in an indie published book, read this. Read this. It's a fantastic adventure and a love story and a survival story and a tragedy all rolled into one. The characters were amazing. I felt like I was right there with them. And let me tell you, I have never lived in a sod house, but I literally just feel like I spent 2 years in one. The descriptions were vivid and everything felt real. I feel like Susannah is my best friend, and I feel like Barb is my dear aunt. I felt so close to these characters and these women as they go through life. You'll probably cry. I'll post a review on my blog in a little more detail. Keep an eye out for that. You'll probably see it in, I'm kind of behind, so maybe a month. I also left a review on Amazon. So you can find this book on Amazon by Carol Harrison. If you're interested, take a look. So good. I do want to mention that the story, while very strong, there were some small formatting errors throughout the text, but I mean they were really, really minor. I only caught them because it took me out of the story just for that split second. Let's be real. Writing and publishing a book isn't easy. Alright guys, that's it for me, and as always, happy reading!